All right, shalom, shalom. I'm going to start off this video by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elder apostles and the bishops, a great millstone that rule well, that teach well, while learning the truth 100% according to the Bible. And I also want to say shalom to the elect, the 144,000 men, the prophets, the servants scattered abroad the four corners of the earth, and shalom to the Akwaf, which are the sisters that are sincere, and your children, shalom. And in today's video, as you can see, is going to be touching in on fearing the Lord, and how it's very important for us to fear the Lord, because we know that in these times that we're about to come into, you know, Jacob's trouble, all hell breaking loose, civil unrest, all of these destructions and catastrophic times Yahweh Shem Yahushua is bringing upon this earth, that it's important that we fear him, because it says in Psalms 34:7 how the angels of the Lord encampeth round about those that fear him and delivereth them. And we also know it says in the book of Isaiah 33:6, and I'm going to get that real quick. The fear of the Lord is his treasure, right? Letting you know that it's very important for us to fear the Lord, man. And that's what's going to get us through these hard times in which we're about to come into, our fear of the Lord, right? This is Isaiah 33:6 in the KJV. And wisdom and knowledge of the Bible, right, of the scriptures, having the true doctrine, shall be the stability of thy times and strength of salvation. The fear of the Lord, Yahweh Bahashem Yahushua, is his treasure. So that's furthermore proven that it's important for us to fear the Lord, man. That's the beginning of all things, fearing Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, and this is Proverbs chapter 1, verse 7. And it says the fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge, right? So that means everything it is in which a person may think they know in this world, you don't really know anything. And even myself included, I know that we don't know anything. We only get the understanding through the things in which it is that the Lord gives unto us. And that's through fearing him, man. So the fear of the Lord is the beginning of all things, because you don't really truly know anything till you begin to know the fear of the Lord, right? And it says, but fools, right, meaning 2/3 of the nation of Israel, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American men and women, despise wisdom and instruction. And that's why in these times that we're about to come into, the Lord is not going to deliver them. They're going to be destroyed, man, ultimately because they don't fear the Lord, right? And this is just a few things, a reason why the Lord is going to delete them, right? This is Proverbs 8:13. The fear of the Lord is to hate evil, right? Evil, pride, and arrogancy, and the evil way. And that's what 2/3 of the nation of Israel is operating in. They're operating in all of these things in which the Lord hates. He hates pride. He hates arrogancy. He hates high-mindedness. He hates all of these different behaviors that the 2/3 of the tribes are exhibiting, and that's ultimately, like I said again, why they're going to perish. And it says, and the evil way and the froward mouth do I hate, right? So the Lord ultimately hate anything that doesn't aligns with his purpose, man. The Lord wants for his servants to be meek, as it tells you in Matthew 5:5, how the meek shall inherit the earth. So the Lord is only dealing with those that are humble and contrite, that fear him, right? And it says, this is Job 28:28. And it said, unto man, he said, behold, the fear of the Lord, right? That is wisdom, right? Meaning the beginning of understanding, the beginning of all things, right? Knowing to fear the Lord and reverence him, to fear him and obey him. That is the beginning of wisdom. And to depart from evil, right, is understanding. So to depart from evil, guess what? The only way you can do that is to fear the Lord. Because you're not going to be departing from evil if you don't fear the Lord. Guess what? You're going to be out here sinning willfully. You're going to be out here going off. You're going to be out here doing everything that it is in your might to go against the Lord if you don't fear him, right? But that's why we fear the Lord, because we know ultimately fearing him is what makes us depart from things that is not pleasing unto him. It allows us to keep the law, statutes, and commandments to the best of our abilities. It allows us to depart from certain things that we know that is not pleasing in the sight of the Lord. It keeps us away from these things by fearing him, man. And that's what a lot of people is going to succumb to in these times. Judgments due to them not fearing the Lord, not reverencing him, not fearing him, not turning back when they had yet the time of repentance to be open unto them. They despised it, So this is why a lot of judgment is about to come, man. And this is why, like I said, it's important for us, us sincere believers, Lord's will we be at that hopeful elect number, to fear the Lord, man, and continue to keep fearing him. Pray to the Lord and ask him to, allow his fear to be upon you, man, so that you don't, get out of his ways, or depart from him. Because if you start losing the fear of the Lord, then guess what? You're going to ultimately fall into, transgressions, sinning, going off and things of that nature. That's why it's important for us to constantly pray that the Lord continues to keep his spirit on us to fear him, man, So I'm going to get, Another precept, just going into fear. This is Proverbs 14:27, and it said, "The fear of the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, is a fountain of life," right? And that's true, because we know following after the law, statutes, and commandments is going to lead to everlasting life, Lord's will, right? If we're the elect, following after the ways of righteousness to the best of our abilities. And I know we're not saved by the law, but we know ultimately we're saved by faith. But the elect are going to keep the laws to the best of their abilities, which is, walking in the ways of righteousness, which goes back to, like I said, fear in the Lord, man, so I'm gonna read that again. The fear of the Lord is a fountain of life, right? And it is life. It's peace. It says in the book of, let me get that precept to, well, bear with me. This is good, because the only way you're going to walk in the waves of the spirit is you're not going to fulfill the ways of the flesh, because you're going to fear the Lord. So like I said in Job 28:28, you're going to have that fear on you to depart from things that is not pleasing unto the Lord. And that's what we want to constantly have in these times. The fear of the Lord on us, on our mind, in our spirit, as we walk through our day-to-day lives in this world. We want to constantly have that in the back of our mind, that, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua is not playing, man, that, we must fear him, man. This is Galatians chapter 5, verse 16. And it said, "This I say then, walk in the spirit," right? "Fearing the Lord, and ye shall not fulfill the lust of the flesh," man. And guess what? The people that don't fear the Lord, that's what they're walking after. They're fulfilling the lust of the flesh, 2/3 of our people, right? And this verse 17, it said, "For the flesh lusteth against the spirit, and the spirit against the flesh," right? Because they're against one another, as it tells you in Romans 8, how the flesh is enmity against Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, meaning it's against, to walk in the ways of the flesh is against the Lord, man. And the people that are walking in the ways of the flesh are those that don't fear the Lord, man. Right? Because, like I said, to fear the Lord is going to allow you to depart from those wicked things, in which doesn't please the Heavenly Father and His Son. Right? So this is, it says, "And these are contrary the one to the other, so that ye cannot do the things that ye would," right? Verse 18, "But if ye be led of the Spirit, ye are not under the law," right? And I'm going to go to, that's basically, I didn't really have to read verse 18, but I just read it. But, yeah, man, it's important for us to fear the Lord to the best of our abilities. We got to do that, and this is another precept going into how we must fear the Lord, right? And this is a good one right here. Proverbs 14:26, "And the fear of the Lord is strong confidence," right? And that's what I read in Isaiah 33:6, how knowledge and wisdom is going to be the stability of these hard and terrible times that we're about to come into. Guess what? We're going to have confidence going into these times. Lord's will, we be at that elect number. We know the Lord is going to deliver us if we of the elect, if we continue to abide in his word, continue to fear the Lord, to continue to walk after the ways of his truth, right? We know that the Lord is going to protect us, man. Lord's will. So that's why we're confident in his truth, right? And it said, "And his children shall have a place of refuge," right? And that word refuge means protection, a covering. And that's what we're going to have in these times of Jacob's trouble, when all hells and things of that nature breaks loose. We're going to have protection from the Lord because we fear him, right? Lord's will, we be at that hopeful number, right? And that's the whole duty of man, for us to serve the Lord, to reverence him, to fear him, to serve him, to do his word if it's your calling to do so. These are the things in which it is we're supposed to be doing. And I'm going to go to a precept to prove that. This is Ecclesiastes 12:13. "Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua and keep his commandments," right? "For this is the whole duty of man." So the Lord saying the whole reason that we were established and set up was for us to serve the Lord, man, to walk in his statutes. You so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel, the men of the nations. That's what we were created to do, to serve the Lord, to fear him, and to do the things in which it is that he requires us to do. Right? And this is Psalms 111 and verse 10. "The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. A good understanding have all they that do his commandments. His praise endureth forever," right? And that's a good understanding, right? Because we know that the people that do the things in that the Lord requires of them to the best of their abilities, they have a good understanding. They have wisdom, right? And wisdom is more precious than rubies and gold, as the Lord tells us in the book of Proverbs, chapter 3, I believe, that, wisdom is better than rubies, golds, and you can't really put a price on rubies. So that's why it's a good understanding to have this knowledge of the scriptures, man, and to fear the Lord, right? Because that's better than anything that you can hopefully think is good or tangible to get in this life. It's not more important or more valuable than this knowledge that we have, right? And this is get another one. All right, this is a good one too. Psalms 25:14. The secret of the Lord is with them that fear him, right? And we know the secrets are the mysteries. As it says in Amos 3:7, surely the Lord power will do nothing, but he revealeth his secrets unto the servants, the prophets. That's why we're getting ourselves prepared spiritually and mentally, for these times of Jacob's trouble that we know we're about to be into, man. We know all hell's about to break loose. We know civil unrest is coming. We know things in America is soon about to get more hectic than it already is. We know these things, right? So ultimately, that's why we're fearing the Lord, man, hoping that he can deliver us in these times, right? And protect us and shield us, right? And he will show them his covenant, right? So, yeah, let me go to another one, and like I said, these are just going to be precepts touching on fearing the Lord. Proverbs 19:23, the fear of the Lord tendeth to life, right? Going into what I read of Job 28:28 again. To depart from evil is understanding. So guess what? If you fear the Lord, you're going to tend to do things that is going to preserve your life. You're going to stay out from among wicked people. Stay away from people that are doing bad things and things that can possibly get you snared up or caught up in traps or in certain situations you don't want to be in. The fear of the Lord is going to keep you away from all of those things, right? And it said, and he that hath it shall abide satisfied. Right. And that's what we're doing. We're abiding. We're satisfied being in this truth. We know that what we're following after is the right way. We trust in the Lord, and that's all, that's what matters, that we fear the Lord. We trust in him. We know that everything it is in which he has happening is for all a reason. And we trust in his judgment, and whatever it is that the Lord allows to happen is going to happen, So we're satisfied. We're what's the word I was looking for? We're I don't want to say the wrong word. We just allow the Lord's will to be done. Basically, we know that the Lord is in control of everything, and that's why we're satisfied with whatever it is, whether we're going through hell in our lives, whether we're going through good times, ups, downs, whatever it may be, we're still happy, and satisfied knowing that guess what? The Lord has the last say so in everything, And it said, he shall not be visited with evil. And that's what we hope to not be visited with these times of great evil that is coming. Evil meaning bad times. We want to be protected in these times of evil. We want to be delivered. We ultimately want the Lord to have his spirit on us to allow us to endure these evils and these bad times that are coming and to not fall victim unto them. Right. So, and this is a good precept right here too. This is what we're to do. Everyone individually, if you fear the Lord, this is what the Lord calls us to do. This is Philippians chapter 2, verse 12. And it says, wherefore, my beloved, as ye have always obeyed, not as in my presence, not only, but now much more in my absence. Work out your own salvation with fear and trembling, right? So that's letting you know that we're supposed to fear the Lord by all means, man. That's what you're supposed to be doing. You serve the Lord, but fearing him as well, man. Knowing that the Lord has the power to do whatever it is he wants to do, to cut your lights off or whatever it is the Lord wants to allow to happen. He has that in his power. That's why we're to fear the Lord by all means, So let me get another one, brothers and sisters. Bear with me. This is a good one. Psalms 86 and verse 11. Teach me thy way, O Lord, Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushua. And that's what we want the Lord to do. Teach us his ways, which is to fear him, which is the beginning of accepting him and accepting wisdom. So we want the Lord to teach us his righteous, holy ways, man. I will walk in thy truth. Unite my heart, right? Meaning my mind, to fear thy name. Going to tell you how important those names are in the Hebrew tongue. Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushua. We fear the name of the Lord, man. And that's because we know the power that the Lord has to do and the power that he's capable of doing, I should say, unto those that don't fear him, to those that are walking in the ways of the flesh, to those that are disobedient, to those that are wicked. We understand the judgment that the Lord can bring upon these people. So that's why we fear the Lord, and we do everything in our power to try to align our lives with things that is pleasing unto the Lord, But yeah, that's pretty much everything I had to say with today's video. It was just something quick through the spirit, about us fearing the Lord, man, and Lord's willing, it could be edifying to you brothers and sisters that come across it. Until the next time, I'm going to say shalom to the elect.